Once again, another accidental super early wake up. Dealing with this latest bout of food poisoning has really knocked my body clock out of kilter. Nevertheless, I woke up, slept well, so just woke up and went through the morning really slowly, had my breakfast and then got packed and ready for the day. Ridiculous riding outfit, but only because I wasn't going very far and didn't have anywhere to store my riding gear for the day. Rode down the road to a gym. Gym was average at best and a bit expensive, but it did have this cracking view of the fortress, which I had planned to go to later in the day. Considering how unwell I'd been just 48 hours ago, the session was really good. Push and pull, 2 hours long, very worth doing. Went downstairs to the petrol station and grabbed the closest thing I could find that resembled actual food, and then rode down the road into the centre and found a nice little parking spot for the bike for the day. The parking spot was nice and close next to the boating tour provider that I'd chosen for the main event of the day. The tour started at 9 AM promptly and we left Kota Port. Our first destination was some submarine tunnels that were built by the Yugoslavian Navy in the 1970s. We then headed on to Mamula Island and the Blue Cave situated at the Lustica Peninsula. And then on the way back after a little swim, we stopped off at Lady of the Rocks, which is a little island located opposite Perast with a church built in 1630, so it's claimed. It was €45 for an adult, which I thought was pretty reasonable come the end of it. I'm just going to let the clips roll, and naturally being the typical vanilla annoying tourist that I am, I took a whole bunch of them, so enjoy the B-roll.
It was built at the end of 19th century, and during both world wars it was used as a hiding place and service station for the submarines. There are 3 tunnels like this in Montenegro. The first one is down on our left side about 200 meters. This is the second and the middle one, and third one is halfway from here to the Blue Cave. The purpose of building it was because in 1908 the Kingdom of Yugoslavia I think it's So why the name Mamula? It was named after the Austro-Hungarian general Lazarus von Mamula, who was in charge of building the fortress and later was in charge of running it until his death in 1854. Until the beginning of the Second World War, it served just as a fortress defending Balkan. So one day, when the 2 other brothers were coming back from the open sea from fishing,
Dimitri, το κρατάω εγώ το κινητό. Περίμενε.
Boat tour finished up at bang on midday, so after a quick snack and getting changed into some more appropriate walking gear, we made the ascent up the side of the mountain on a cliff trail. I'd previously planned to go to the fortress, but I found out that it cost €15 to go and walk along the walls. It's not too much of a cost, but on principle I think that's an absolute rip-off, so I decided not to. Instead, I decided to walk up the Ladder of Kotor, or so it is named. However, it's more just a trail that zigzags back and forth up the mountain. It was very challenging, especially in 32-degree heat. For some stupid reason, I decided I wanted to see how fast I could get up to the top. So aside from a few very short breaks to take a clip and sip some water, I didn't stop until I was at the top. But we made it to the viewpoint we'd planned, and the views did not disappoint. I mean, just under 35 minutes to walk the route pictured, and that includes the walk up the street to the bottom of the trail. After sitting down and relaxing for a little bit, and then soaking up the views, I kicked off the descent. Not before noticing that the trail actually continued upwards. I think it goes all the way and then you walk along the cliff there that I've zoomed in on. Now I just walked up to what's called the Kotor Great Scene on Apple Maps, but actually you can go further up to the Kotor Bay viewpoint. And it appears that you can actually walk even further and go up to the top of the cliff. I'd walked up there far too quickly and tired myself out far too much to even consider doing it on this day. However, this is definitely something I'll consider doing in the future because it was very enjoyable. Kotor's definitely on my list of places to revisit. So I started the descent after enjoying the views, and on the way down I got chatting to a guy who was flying a drone around. The footage it was showing on the screen was incredible. But anyway, cracked on with the descent, a little bit slower pace, not challenging myself, and stopping in the shade and regular drink breaks and all that good stuff. Get safely to the bottom despite sporting less than 15 quid Lidl shoes, and we cracked on getting home. Picked up some supplies on the way home, some traditional Croatian/Serbian hamburgers. They're like thin hamburgers basically, but they were quite nice. Went down and treated some lettuce and some chili beans, and I smoked out the entire upstairs of the apartment. Out of politeness, I told the apartment staff and apologised profusely, but realistically I blame them for not providing me with an extractor fan.